Congratulations to the champion. Dan, I was wondering if, I wonder if you can comment on, obviously, you got the cloud hanging over your head of John Jones, and you addressed it a little bit in the cage right there. But, you know,
hey guys, keep it down a little bit. Champion speak. Yeah, keep it down. Kevin?
But just can you talk about, do you feel like the champion, you just lost to John, or do you feel like you still need, have something to prove before you're the actual, the guy?
Kevin, you see what's sitting right there?
I do.
That's a gold belt. That thing's reserved for the UFC champion. I didn't disqualify myself from competition. John did. John's a pound #1 fighter in the world. We all know that. But disqualified himself from this competition right now. So I am the champion. I'm very proud of what I accomplished tonight. I fought a very tough guy that deserved to be there. If anything, I think what tonight showed is that if John Jones can get his stuff together, I mean, how special is he? That I just beat the guy that people thought that he could beat, and he just beat me. So I mean, we can't take this guy for granted. He's a special talent, but he has to. It's not about just being a champion inside of the ring. You have to be a champion in all facets of life. And it's unfortunate, but I believe that he'll get himself together, and then him and I will fight again. I said that I'm the kid at the wrestling tournament that's always in your bracket. Wrestling tournament is not one tournament. It's over the course of a year. So maybe John beat me in a dual meet of a regional tournament, but there's still a state tournament and a national tournament. So there's plenty of times for him and I to compete against each other.
And then do you feel like you raised your game tonight? I mean, obviously Anthony hit you with the right hand right at the beginning, and I think it looked like it might be over for you before it started. But do you feel like from what you did in January until now that you actually raised your game?
You know, man, I think I was actually more committed to what I do good. I was talking to Rashad Evans, and I remember when I watched Rashad fight Jones back in Atlanta in 2012, he abandoned his wrestling. But it's because sometimes you can actually hit Jones. So you feel like, I'm just going to keep hitting him. And you abandon what you do best. But at the same time that you're hitting him, he's hitting you 3, 4, 5 times for every one that you actually land. So you abandon your wrestling. I think tonight I was more focused on wrestling and just really doing what got me to the show. I'm a grinder. I'm a guy that will take you down, make you carry my weight as you're getting up. I'll continue to hit you. I'll continue to press you, push you against the side of the cage until eventually something will present itself, and that's what happened tonight. I mean, Anthony did a phenomenal job early of defending himself on the bottom. But as the round went on and he started to get a little tireder, the opportunities started to present themselves, and that's when I started to get off the elbows and eventually the choke.
Two quick questions, and one, if you can just comment on how close you were when he hit you with the right hand at the beginning. And then secondly, more like, it was hard to not think of this since it was just a couple weeks since Mayweather fought in that ring in this arena, and he kind of took the defensive approach, and it's like you didn't go the exciting way, you took the grind it out kind of approach. And is it as satisfying as if you had stood in front of the hardest hitter in the UFC and slugged it out with him?
If I would have stood in front of Anthony, this thing would be sitting on the opposite side of this press conference right now. He hit me so hard, and I was like, man, not only does this guy hit hard, he's very fast. So when he hit me, I fell, and I turned around, and behind me, I saw him coming chasing me. I was like, holy shit, he's coming after me. So I tried to grab him, but then he just started punching me again. And then eventually I was able to grab him and kind of get my head back about me. I wasn't like completely out, but I was like, I did get stunned. That's the first time I've ever been knocked down in practice, competition, anything. I mean, I fell, in the moment I rolled, because I'm kind of chubby, so you roll when you fall. I looked behind me and there was Anthony. He was like coming, and I was like, holy cow, he's right behind me.
I hope that's your game plan next time, bro. Please.
What?
Stand there.
Hell, I ain't standing there.
I can't lie. He wrestled the hell out of me tonight, so I wasn't trying to take your limelight right now, bro.
He hit me one time and look at my face. He hit me on the side of the face one time. I was like, holy cow. He kicked me in the face a couple times too. It sucked.
Yeah, your head hurt my foot. And like, any questions for AJ now? I'm here.
I was about to get to you, Rumble. That was thanks, glad we had that moment. Rumble, obviously you're disappointed, but you've been positive throughout this. But can you talk about just kind of how you're feeling right now? And was it just the fact, like a big adrenaline dump, that you're kind of tired? Just walk us through what happened.
Daniel, he did an awesome job. He definitely made me carry his weight, and he's heavy as hell. And it wasn't an adrenaline dump, this motherfucker's heavy. Sorry for the language. But I'm just glad to be in this moment right now. You know, I can't take anything away from Daniel. He did his thing. I'm happy for him, I'm proud of him. I wish him nothing but much success.
Question for DC, right in front of you. There you go. Congrats, of course, on the win. You said before the fight that, you know, to really get into this, you had to let go of the obsession of being a champion. You had the conversation with your coach, John Smith. How much did that play into the actual fight? Once you got in there, you heard them announcing your name, you knew it was on the line. I mean, did any of that old feeling come back to you, or were you able to really let it go?
I was able to let it go. You know, I'm bothered right now a little bit, but yeah, I was able to let it go. I think I had this weird calm before this competition because it was a competition. It wasn't a fight. Obviously, we're fighting inside of an octagon, but it was a competition. I was going to compete tonight against Anthony Johnson, someone I respect, someone I like. It wasn't me going to try and fight him. You know, like, I gotta try to keep my emotions in check. You know, a lot of times, was that? Yeah, a lot of times I get like so caught up, and it's like with me, it's like what you see is what you get. Like, this is me. So if I'm joking, I'm joking. If I'm upset, I'm upset. If I'm sad, I'm sad. You'll get exactly that. And I was so tied to that last fight that it did me no good. So to go out and compete against a guy like Anthony, someone I respect tremendously, for doing all the things that he's done. I've said time and time again that this guy has picked himself up in the face of adversity so many times. I have to respect him not only for what he's done inside of the octagon, but what he's done outside of the octagon. And it felt good to compete against that guy. So yeah, it helped me. But again, it was like when I talked to John, it was like I was a 19-year-old kid again getting recruited by the greatest American wrestler of all time. And I said, you know, if Coach Smith can tell me that I need to let things go and just be okay, I gotta let things go and just be okay. So when Anthony knocked me down in the first round, I didn't freak out, I didn't panic. I said, let's get back to the game. I give Cain Velasquez a ton of credit. But if you remember the third fight with Junior Dos Santos, 10 seconds in, he got hit with a left hook and he was hurt very bad. And he just grabbed him, got his composure, and ended up beating him in a 5-round, submission, I guess. But it's like, you have to stay the course. You have to believe in yourself. And even if it didn't work out, be fine whatever the result is.
You've obviously traveled a lot of roads to get here. The Olympics, everything that happened there, we've talked numerous times about finally getting that goal. Now that it's sitting in front of you, can you kind of materialize into words like what this moment means to you after everything you've been through?
You know, man, I didn't win the Olympics. I didn't win the NCAA tournament. I didn't win a lot of things. But I won the Strikeforce Championship, and I won this championship. So this will be my last athletics thing that I'll do in my life. And when I put my resume in mixed martial arts, I'm fine now. I won the 2 biggest organizations in the World Championships. So if I was to walk away, I'll walk away. I'm not going anywhere yet because Bader got an ass whipping coming. But after I kick Bader's ass, if you want to walk away, you're fine. But it's good. We started, man, like we had nothing. Selena and I had nothing. She's been with me since I had 1 fight. And one time we had our son, young baby. I was in Strikeforce, and I would barely fight. And Selena and I had a 700 square foot apartment in San Jose, California, 1 bedroom, and we had no money, and my family has no money down in Louisiana. And I was so desperate because we had no gas, we had nothing. We were on welfare. We called my parents, and they don't have much, but my mom, my dad, my brothers, and my sister, they pulled together whatever they had, and they had $575, and they sent it to Selena and I, and it allowed us to actually get through the month until my next sponsorship check from Cage Fighter came, who they sponsored me my entire career up until tonight. And she just stayed there. And she always supported me, and she just always believed in me. And even when I didn't know this day would come, she did. So it's like great to actually give this championship to my parents and to give it to my fiance, because now we're fine. You know, we're okay now.
One quick question for AJ. You know, when you left the UFC, you know, you talked about that being a wake-up call. So throughout everything else that happened tonight, you didn't come away with a win, but you had a kind of an inspirational speech tonight after the fight. Do you feel like, you know, that's still something positive you can take away as the influence you've had on other people, the fact that you've been able to rebuild yourself to this point? And let's not kid ourselves. I mean, you know, a win or two, you're right back in there, and, you know, there's, you know, part two at DC maybe. So, I mean, do you feel like that's still a positive you can take away of all the things you went through to even get to this point?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have given up, you know, if they went through what I went through. And I'm just proud of myself for not giving up and still trying to be the best person I can be, do the best that I can do, and trying to be something in life. My goal is still to be champion one day. And I was on a 9-fight win streak, and Daniel just defeated me, but I promise you I'll be back. And I don't care who I have to fight, when I have to fight them, or where I have to fight them, I will be back. And, you know, whoever's there, hey, let's do it.
Honestly, how should Kenny and I address you at work now?
You know what? You guys should definitely address me as champ. I don't want you to call champ Cormier. Don't say Daniel.
Okay.
Don't say Daniel ever again. And this thing will be at UFC tonight. Every week, guys get used to seeing it. I will make sure it's always polished. I'm so happy, guys. I'm sorry. I mean, come on, seriously. Like, I seriously won this thing. So I'm gonna put it up in my TV room. Like, I seriously won. I won. That's crazy.
Congrats, DC.
Thank you.
Last question, right?